Yeah, yo, what's going on, guys? Seth Spartan here, and today we've got an extremely exciting video for you guys, which is testosterone, pros versus cons, unleashed. We might as well call it an unleashed video because we're going to break down and talk about a lot of things that people are not addressing or talking about. And I surely haven't seen anybody talk about all of these things in one video. So without any further ado, let's get it. So before we break down and jump into all of this stuff that we need to talk about and cover with testosterone pros and cons, we have to first address the big fat elephant in the room, which is this. Seth, you're going to be talking about testosterone, testosterone usage. Don't you work for a testosterone and HGH and hormone replacement clinic? Yes, I do, guys. I work for a testosterone and hormone replacement clinic, obviously. So, having said all that, there's going to be people that are going to say, well, how do we know you're not going to skew towards the pros? Because obviously, don't you get paid when people sign up or use your code? Yes, I do. I get paid when people sign up and use my code for arguably the best hormone replacement clinic in the nation. However, I don't care in the sense that, I cannot post this video. I'm just being flat out dead honest with you guys. I cannot post this video in good conscience if I skew things to the pros and push people or just skew things to the pros and, to get people to sign up and not give people all the cons. So, in good conscience, out of good conscience, guys, yes, I work for a hormone replacement clinic, but regardless, I am not skewing this video, going one way or the other. I'm going to give it to you straight how it is, pros and cons. And honestly, guys, testosterone replacement, HGH replacement, hormone replacement is not for everybody, okay? So, having said all that, and I'm going to address that too. So, having said that, guys, I'm Seth Spartan. Let's kill this video. Here we go. So, let's start right over here. Let's start over here with the testosterone range, okay? This is the testosterone range if you live in the U.S. Maybe I'll come over here. It'll be easier. So, in the United States of America, in the U.S., most medical centers, or if not the best medical centers, this is the testosterone range. 1,200 total testosterone level at the very top of the normal testosterone range, and at the bottom we have 300. So again, the U.S. gold standard for testosterone, total testosterone range, is 1,200 at the top and about 300 at the bottom. Let's talk about where I'm sitting at. Okay, I've talked about this in other videos. Just so you guys, giving you guys all the information you need to for when we cover other things in this video. So let's talk about this. Right now, I'm Seth Spartan. I am prescribed through Prometheus HRT, the clinic I work for, 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate weekly, okay? This would be referred to as a super TRT. It would be referred to as super TRT or high dose TRT. Why? 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate that I'm getting right from the clinic from my doctor. This puts me at about 1,400 to 1,300, okay? I'm a bigger guy, I have a fast metabolism, so I'm fluctuating, guys, at 250 milligrams. I already addressed, what type and how much, but this puts me fluctuating between 1,400 and 1,300, okay? 250 test sip a week. So this is what we would call a super TRT, okay? Why? Because it's just over the top of the normal range. And this is not a big deal to be prescribed this as long as you're healthy, as long as you're in good shape, you're healthy, it's not a big deal. Why? I want to address everything before we jump into the pros and cons. Why is this not a big deal? Because there are people who are natural that still come back over the range, okay? This is just a range. So for performance, for maximum performance, athletics, fitness, it's okay to be a little bit over the top of the range. Again, I'm 240 pounds, fast metabolism, Seth the Spartan, right? Okay, I'm 250 milligrams test sip, 1,400, fluctuating between 1,400, 1,300, okay? And that's with, as of right now, no AI, okay? So, and my estrogen is sitting a little bit higher in the range, a little bit more towards the top, but it's better to have higher estrogen than lower big time. We're talking about better joints, better sleep, and a whole nother myriad of things. We'll get into that in a different video. Now then, let's keep going down the TRT train. There is high dose TRT. We're ready to address super TRT. That's what I'm doing. There is high dose testosterone replacement therapy. What is high dose? We'll say, and this varies per person per weight, but high dose would be anything 1,200. Again, that's the top of the normal range in the US. So high dose would be 1,200 to about 1,000, okay? And, for me, this is going to be different for other people. I know people that, would take 200 and that would shoot them way over the range. They're smaller, slower metabolism, whatever. It's not always by how much you take, because obviously we all weigh, some of us have more muscle mass, some of us are bigger, faster metabolism, such and so forth, more enzymes to break the testosterone down, whatever. This is why you have to go by the range, not so much by the dosage. Having said that, so we address super TRT, high dose TRT between 1,200 and 1,000. For me, this would be anywhere from probably 200 milligrams would probably put me about 1,000 to 220 per week would probably put me about 1,200. And we'll talk about what I'm going to do for this new 10% body fat series that we're going to be starting here relatively soon, hopefully, as soon as I can squat 12 reps for 500. We're at 11 right now. And then you have, so we address super high dose TRT, and then you have which is called regular TRT, okay? Just a regular TRT. And obviously TRT, this all falls under the umbrella of TRT or HRT, but a regular typical TRT or HRT clinic, run of the mill that you go to, they're not good. Most of the time, they're not going to give you high dose TRT or super TRT, because their only thing that they're trying to do is treat, most of the time, elderly. They're not used to working with athletes or people that want to be at their best. They're most of the time working with people that, elderly people come in, they just want to feel better because they're at like 300 and they feel depressed, anxiety. They just, honestly, they can't get out of bed without their coffee, okay? And they're having other libido issues. So, a regular TRT, a typical TRT clinic that doesn't have much experience working with different people, athletes, whatever. So regular TRT is typically going to be between 800 total testosterone, and honestly, some people as low as, I'll just cap it around 500. Okay. Yes, there are clinics out there that will give people, like 180 milligrams of testosterone and bump them up from 300 to 500. So this would be considered a regular TRT, 500 to 800. Of course, at 500, when my total testosterone level is 500, I feel like just garbage, okay? So, testosterone is one of the best antidepressants ever. You feel wonderful on it. And that's another reason why if you don't sleep, guess what? Your testosterone crashes right away. And that's one other reason why you feel terrible and lethargic. We'll save that for another video, okay? So I wanted to address all these different types. Now we're gonna get into the bulk. We're gonna get into the meat of the video, all right? Which is testosterone, pros versus cons. Which is better, which is superior? The answer is gonna vary depending on you and ultimately your doctor's decision. All right, let's jump into this. All right, let's go through the pros because this is what you guys are all here for. Testosterone, pros versus cons. Here's the first pro, and this might seem obvious, but there are aspects of this which are not obvious at all. What am I talking about? Pros of testosterone usage, TRT, HRT. Way higher testosterone levels. You're going to have way higher testosterone levels. Now, what you're going to say here is, well, that's obvious. That's really obvious. But no, it's not. Why? In the human body, in the male human body, you have a testosterone rhythm, if you will, where you wake up in the morning hours, testosterone is peaking, okay? Why? LH and FSH are being released from your pituitary at the greatest amounts into systemic circulation in the bloodstream, thereby stimulating the testicles to pump out as much testosterone, or the most testosterone at any time during the day. Okay, there we go. We got that out. So, natural male testosterone rhythm, right? Highest testosterone level in the morning, or if you're a shift worker, that's going to be typically when you're waking up from your 8 hours. All right, you should be getting 8 hours, by the way. But when you're waking up, or between waking up and also those the first 2 hours of wake, that's typically when testosterone is going to be at its peak. Okay, so that's going to be at the very peak. Well, guess what happens in the evening, in the late evening, before you go to sleep? Your testosterone level, in some cases, is going to be 30, 40, 50% lower sometimes than where they were in the morning. What does that mean? Let's say I'm let's take me as an example, all right? Seth Spartan, 17, 18 years old. I'm at 1,000 total testosterone. Natural as what's supernatural? I'm natural as a potato, okay? 1,000 total testosterone, Seth Spartan, 17, 18 years old, all right? In the morning, I get up, first 2 hours, I'm at 1,000. Then throughout the day, I'm falling, and probably in the evening time, I'm probably at about, late evening, probably 600, maybe 700 if I'm lucky. Guys, guess what? And this is the natural rhythm with testosterone, okay? This is just how the human body works. Well, guess what, guys? On TRT, HRT, when you're doing testosterone, you don't have this rhythm anymore. You're constantly peaked out if you're doing your injections correctly. Yes, you're going to have a little fluctuation, but really, guys, in all honesty, if you're doing your TRT like an expert professionally, and you've got good doctors, you would not even believe the kind of garbage I have heard regarding some clinics. Not all clinics are bad. I'm not going to say that. That's not true. But there's a lot of clinics that are just, they just either they don't have the experience or they don't have very good doctors, okay? And they're doing once a week injections or they're using, don't even get me started. Another video, all right? We'll talk about that, TRT mistakes. But the take-home point, if you're doing testosterone, for me, example, I'm doing 250 milligrams test sip a week. It's super TRT, just a little bit over the top of the normal range, and that's where you want to be for maximum performance, athletics, fitness, whatever, to be at your best, but still not have detrimental health effects, okay? Not a big deal as long as you're healthy, because remember, there are some people naturally that are up here. Having said that, this has to be talked about. Once you go on that TRT, that testosterone, again, for me, 250, I'm taking an injection every other day. Using an insulin syringe. I'll get into more of that later. That's what me and my doctor, have found to be the best. All right. So, many doctors good doctors should be open to a little bit of experimentation to find out what is best for each client. I'll have to talk about that again in another video. But so I'm doing 250 a week, right? Every other day. My testosterone level, guys, is always peaked up, all right? I'm not getting that rhythm, that rhythm that a normal person would. You're always staying peaked up. Yes, you'll have a little bit of variation. Why? Because that every other day with test sipping, I'm going between 1,400 and 1,300, all right? So I'm getting a teeny little, but it's nothing like, the natural rhythm. Moving on, next, way more muscle mass. I hate when people lie about this and they say with TRT, HRT, you're not going to put on muscle versus being natural. Big lie. All right. This is the bottom line. With testosterone replacement, you're going to have way more muscle mass than you would naturally. How much is dependent on where your testosterone level was before you went on. Okay? But even if your testosterone level, let's say naturally, I don't know why they would do this or you would do this, but let's say naturally you were at 1,000. All right? And then you did testosterone replacement, and guess what? You're still at 1,000. You're going to have a little bit more muscle than you would naturally. Why? Because again, you're eliminating those dips later in the day. You're always at your peak. All right? You're always at your peak. That's why I feel so good all the time. Yeah. Right? No, I still get tired, obviously. But you're going to have way more energy, more drive. We'll get into that in a little bit. You're going to have way more muscle mass. And obviously, the final point here is it depends on how much, where you were before you started and how much TRT you're doing. Are you doing a super TRT like me? Are you doing a high dose TRT, or are you doing run-of-the-mill regular TRT just for wellness, okay? And that's not a big deal, guys. If you're at, 800 and you're not training hard, you just want to feel better, you want to just feel okay, 800 be fine, but 800 total testosterone level is not going to cut the cake if you want to train in the gym or you're a hard training, hard working athlete. There's a reason, guys, why college athletes, I want to stress this point. There's a reason why college athletes, people in 18 through, 22, 23, why they're 18 through 23 and they can take a beating and train really hard. It's because their natural testosterone is, right, most of them is naturally, it could be argued most of them are naturally right at the top, 1,200, some over probably. Okay, so the thing is that, and the reason why college athletes, or part of the reason is because, their testosterone level is so high naturally. And guess what? After you hit, for a lot of guys, after you hit 21, 22, it starts, it's going down and it's gone, all right? Not everybody. I've met older people with really high testosterone levels naturally, but, for a lot of guys, me included, after I hit about 20, 21, testosterone is like, see you later. We're out, okay? That's just, that's just how it works with some people. Moving on, next pro, and this is what the powerlifters and big guys want to hear. Testosterone, pro number 3. You're going to be way stronger. Okay, I am way stronger now on a super TRT, or I'd still be way stronger on a high dose TRT than I was naturally. Again, naturally 17, 18, about 1,000 total T level. I'm trying to think. At my best naturally, and I peaked out. At my best naturally, I was benching about 400 pounds, okay? Give or take, maybe a little bit over, maybe 410, 420. 420 tops. I almost got into powerlifting. I almost did 420 in a powerlifting meet, completely raw, almost set the American record. I missed that, but granted, you have to pause at the bottom, hold it for a second before you can reverse it. So my best bench press naturally was between 400 and 420, okay? Completely natural. I couldn't get any bigger. Now, being on a super TRT, 1,300, 1,400, flat across the board, I just benched, 315, 15 times. My best would probably be, 16, something like that, if I was at my, trained up on that. But, and that would be, so my bench would probably be about maybe 450, compare 450 to between 400, 420. So you're going to be stronger. It's not like something crazy stronger, but you're going to be definitely stronger on a TRT, HRT. Let's move on here. Moving on to the pros, better recovery. This is without I don't have to explain this much. You're going to have better recovery. Testosterone is the male body's God-given natural hormone. It's the anabolic hormone of the male body. Testosterone, and also its counterpart DHT, dihydrotestosterone. With testosterone, whether it's super TRT or high dose TRT, you're gonna have better recovery. I don't know what else to say on that. Moving on. Last point, better secondary effects. What are secondary effects? Well, let's first address this. What am I talking about better secondary effects with in regards to high dose testosterone replacement or super TRT? Or even some people who are really low and they go on a regular TRT, they're going to all have better secondary effects, such as better energy levels. They're going to feel better. They're going to not be euphoric. Oh, better self-confidence. So you're going to be more positive. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel better. You'll have more drive. That's a big one. You'll have more drive to go out and work hard. Have more energy towards sports, family, other things. It's a great thing. Okay, and you'll have better libido. Okay, things like this. So just better well-being in general. So you're going to get all those effects also with testosterone. You know, one of the cons with super TRT is, you know, I grow back. You probably can't see it much now, but I grow a lot more back hair than I used to, okay? So that's just, you know, that just falls in the category as well. Guys, that's it with the pros. Let's address the cons, and we're out of here, all right? Here we go. Stick with me, guys. Cons of testosterone. Here's the biggest con, and it can be somewhat shifted away, or it can be somewhat blunted, but this is period, bottom line. Biggest con with testosterone replacement is none other than increase in plaque buildup in the arteries. Now, I want to say something here. Please listen up. Don't cut the video off. Just give me another minute before if you're going to stop the video. With testosterone replacement, whether it's normal, whether it's high, or whether it's super TRT, you are going to have an increase in plaque buildup in the arteries. I just talked to a cardiologist about this. This is proven, period, undebatable. However, it's going to be a slight increase in plaque buildup in the arteries compared to anabolic steroid use or other usage. And in most cases, guys, the increase in plaque buildup in the arteries is from giving testosterone, or better yet, giving too much testosterone to people that are over 40, okay? You know, if I was 40 years old, I'm not, I'm 27. If I was 40 years old, should I be using super TRT? Putting my total testosterone at 1,400, 1,300? You know, at that age, probably not. I would want to stick between a high-dose TRT and a regular TRT. Probably even, you know, if I'm done lifting, it's going to be a regular TRT if I don't want to build up any more plaque. So the thing is, guys, is that this, and even off TRT, you know, the higher you get in the age, you're going to have more plaque buildup anyway. That's just how it works with age. However, the testosterone replacement will speed that up slightly, but nothing compared to anabolic steroids. Again, I just talked to a good cardiologist on this subject. So we could say slight increase in plaque buildup in the arteries, and this effect is going to be much greater when you're over 40. If you're younger and you have high growth hormone levels, or if you're doing HGH replacement, this is one of the benefits of HGH replacement. Unproven at this point, but think about HGH. Human growth hormone is going to speed up cell recovery, repair, new cell growth in the human body. That's why you heal from injuries so much faster in high school than when you're old, okay? So the thing is with human growth hormone, I guess I can't cite a study. In my professional opinion, human growth hormone is going to greatly offset any plaque buildup in the arteries from testosterone, or in general. Why? Because you're healing the endothelium faster. And in medical studies, guess what? We know that the body can actually clear out plaque buildup in the arteries and rejuvenate the endothelial cells. Okay, so you can slowly get rid of it. But the problem is that most people have low HGH levels, because most people. Sorry guys, video cut out there for a second, but let's continue on. That's because most people who are having plaque buildup in the artery problems, where it's already established or taken significant effect, they're also older and they have less HGH levels to begin with, and to cause faster healing of the endothelium. So it's kind of like an increasingly staggering effect upwards, okay, just because of that. Moving on, number 2, let's talk about the next con. Number 2 is, you don't want to pay attention to this, is old. So if you're older or unhealthy or not in shape, there is a heart attack risk from testosterone replacement therapy. Wow, I remember reading this study and learning about this. This is quite amazing, and this is something you'll want to either look up or pay attention to what I'm about to say. So, in studies, when older people, think 40, 50, 60, even over 60, when they go on testosterone replacement, okay, when they get pushed up, 80, 1,000, 120, or 1,200, when an older person, unhealthy, not in shape, these are all contributing factors to a heart attack risk from testosterone, and this is short term. Why? Why is the big question? Why is this? Let's answer this. So, with older people, unhealthy or not in shape, who have low testosterone, think 300, or they're having really bad symptoms, guess what? Their doctor puts them on testosterone. Probably is going to bump them up somewhere, around 800 or so. That's maybe 800, 600, most likely 800 probably, I would think. But when their doctor does that, guess what? These older people who are unhealthy, not in shape, testosterone, guys, is a strong, powerful anabolic hormone, and it can be stressful on the body. Why? Because it's anabolic in nature. It tells the body, build, grow, it gets stronger, mature, okay? So it's sending all these signals, and if you're older, this is going to be harder. If you're unhealthy, this is going to be even harder on your system. And if you're not in shape, especially your heart and your body's, hasn't been working hard, guess what? This is causing a heart attack risk. So what they found in medical studies is that there is a short-term risk when people who are old, unhealthy, or not in shape go on testosterone replacement. There's a short-term heart attack risk after they start, okay? Because they're all of a sudden, they come in for their testosterone injection, they get their injection, their testosterone level shoots way up from, we'll just say, hypothetically 300, it shoots way up. All of a sudden, their body is freaking out, build more muscle, make the heart stronger, and, anabolic grow. And one thing you'll notice when you go on testosterone replacement, if you went from low to high really fast, your heart is beating harder. You notice your heart beating harder and faster because the body is sending those grow, and those anabolic signals to grow and to get stronger, okay? So initially, this is a stressor on the body, and until the heart gets stronger and the body, so to speak, adapts to the anabolic stimulus, there's going to be an increase in heart attack risk. If you're young, you're healthy, you're in shape, this is not a big deal. But this is something to think about, and this is why you want to slowly taper up testosterone, or I guess I'm not a doctor, I can't say that, but in my opinion, that's a reason why doctors should slowly taper patients up instead of just give them a big whopping dose, especially if you're older, unhealthy, or not in shape. Moving on, let's talk about point number 3, which is fertility. All right, I got to give you guys the full talk, otherwise I'm just doing you guys a disservice here. So here's the full talk on testosterone, pros versus cons. There's a reason why fertility is in the cons section. If you go on testosterone replacement, doesn't matter if it's regular TRT, high dose TRT, super TRT like I'm on, all right, doesn't matter. What's going to happen is your natural production is shutting down, all right? And the male testicles, since they're shut down, they will lose size. This is just scientifically how it works. So fertility, if you just use testosterone alone, your fertility is going to be impacted. You have options such as HCG, gonadorelin, also known as GHRH, synthetic GHRH. Triptorelin can also be used if it's used in the right way. So all these, you can use HMG, which is a combination of synthetic. It's basically synthetic LH and FSH. Okay, so these are all things you can do for fertility to keep that from happening, keep your natural hormone functioning. I prefer what I prefer is using Ganatorelin, which is synthetic GHRH. Keeps you humming like nobody's business. The only downside with that is that it degrades really fast. So what you want to do is right after you reconstitute it, you want to load all your pins, all your dosages, and put them in the freezer, and then pull them out one by one to use them. There's a sweet trick for you guys right there. Check with your doctor before you do anything, okay? All right, but that's a trick for you guys. Let's talk about, and with fertility, guys, it used to be, I'm just going to be blunt honest with you guys. Fertility used to be an issue. Guys used to go on testosterone and want to get off and have fertility problems the rest of their lives. All right, this used to happen. However, we currently live in the year 2022, where honestly, if you have a good doctor and good medications, there's no need why you can't at least get your testosterone back to where you were before. Here's the setback. Here's why that doesn't always happen. One, a person does not have access to pharmaceutical GHRH, triptorelin, or their HGH levels too low. Yes, guys, if you have low HGH levels, your fertility is going to be still blunted, even if you're taking Ganatorelin or triptorelin. Why? Because HGH and IGF-1 is crucial. It is a critical component of making the testicles and also the pituitary gland be able to maximize hormone output and efficiency. Okay, that's the bottom line. Okay, I'm just being honest with you guys, and doctors don't take this into account. And I know this is a touchy thing with HGH. California, Nevada, Florida are the leaders in hormone replacement. There are a lot of now human growth hormone clinics that you can go to and get HGH replacement. Most clinics are still in the dinosaur area and they're only doing TRT. But there are some good clinics, including mine, Prometheus HRT, which does HGH replacement with the best doctors, okay? And again, I do HGH replacement. I don't take synthetic. I take HGH peptides to basically double my natural HGH production, keep me where I was at when I was 17, 18. Feel better, look better, sleep better, hair grows faster, you look better, okay? So fat loss, everything, all right? So moving on, let's talk about injection. This is the last point, and guys, we're out of here. Last con with testosterone. This has been a fun video. Injections and time. Injections and time. If you go on testosterone replacement, this has to be said. Oh, stretch. If you go on testosterone replacement, guys, you're going to have to do injections, okay? There's no other, you can use the cream, but the up and downs, you're going to get more up and downs. It's just how it works. But I know they've developed a new pill that you can take orally. But the most effective, best way to do TRT, at least up until now, has been testosterone injections, either sub-Q or intramuscular. All right? If you're an athlete, I recommend intramuscular. Okay? I addressed this in another video. If you're just a guy that, just doing this for wellness, I would recommend sub-Q. And you can talk to your doctor. I'm sure they will confirm what I'm saying, okay? I've talked to my doctor about a lot of this stuff. But if you go on testosterone replacement, injections. Now, I'm going to give you, and also that's going to take time, all right? It might seem like, probably 10 minutes to do, 5-10 minutes to do a perfect injection. But still, I do my injection every other day, and it's just, it's, it was 5-10 minutes. Maybe it's just because I'm lazy. I like doing other things. I move a million miles an hour, but the last con is injections and time. I want to address this. This has to be addressed for you guys. What is the best way to inject your testosterone? All right, I'm gonna have to make a video on this because I'm sure there's going to be people that just want to hear this, all right, by itself. Here's the 3 best options. My opinion, check with your doctor before you do anything. but I would consider myself definitely a professional in this area, okay? In terms of experience and knowing this stuff. Okay, in terms of testosterone injections, there are 3 best options that I prefer. And these are the only 3 types of injections that I'll do. When I'm doing my testosterone cypionate, okay? I already talked about this. When I do my testosterone cypionate, the best, in my opinion, is every other day dosing, okay? If I do every other day dosing, I'm going to opt for a 29 gauge, half-inch insulin syringe. I'm lean, I'm not fat, and I can do that if I want in my delts or in my quads. I almost always do my quads just because it's easy, okay? And as long as you know your body, you're not going to, and even with something that short, hitting a nerve is very rare, okay? You really don't have that problem with insulin syringes. If you're not lean, if you're not lean enough, then your 2 other best options, and these, again, there's only 3 options I would do. So first option is insulin syringe, 29 gauge, half-inch. Next best option would be 27 gauge, inch and 1/4, okay? And the third option, the last option, would be 25 gauge, 1 inch. I would never use any other syringe for my testosterone injections. Again, doctor prescribed. I just wouldn't. Okay? And why every other day? It's going to be the most stable levels. I can't do every day. That's just too inconvenient for me. But every other day with an insulin syringe is no big deal at all. And as for guys, if you're using a 25 gauge 1 inch or 27 gauge inch and 1/4, then honestly, guys, you could do 2 or 3 times a week, but I would never go below 2 times a week. All right, you just honestly, guys, just me to you, you're gonna feel better the more often you do it. Okay, there's very little gain from going from every other day to every day. There's less gain, but still a little bit. But there's a big difference between doing twice a week and every other day. But anything's fine. All right, you can do. My doctor said the more frequent the better. Except people complain they don't want to do that. But so your best options: twice a week, 3 times a week, or every other day, like me. Guys, I'm Seth Spartan. Stay safe, stay healthy. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was testosterone pros versus cons unleashed. Guys, if you want to go to the best hormone replacement clinic in the nation, again, that's my opinion, go sign up at Prometheus HRT, use my code. You can do testosterone replacement, HGH replacement, hormone replacement with the best doctors, and they're all focused on athletics, performance, you being at your best. Or if you just want to do wellness, they will help you out with that. Guys, again, stay safe, stay healthy, and we are out of here.